So here are the list of pros of living in Rockaway Borough, New Jersey. Proximity to nature. Rockaway is surrounded by beautiful parks and natural areas, making it a perfect location for outdoor enthusiasts. There's several parks in the area, including Parks Lake, which is our local lake. During the summer, they have a rec program where you could buy beach passes and spend the summer, a portion of the summer there and swim all day if you wanted to. There's also some really nice county parks in the area. There's a nice local lake here where you could go kayaking, which is fun. So that's one of the many benefits of living in a borough. Another one is a sense of community. We're a small town here in Rockaway Borough. We're approximately 6,500 people in the borough. So there's a strong sense of pride and tradition. A lot of the original families that have lived here were, like their families have been here for over 100 years. They have a very interesting history in how they took part in the development of the town. If you were ever to go to visit the Historical Society, they're open once a month on a Sunday. You could find all these interesting details about the borough history. Also, in the borough here, you could find some quality education. So we have some of the highest rated schools in the county. The middle school is highly rated. Also, Morris Hills, we share the district of Morris Hills and Morris Knolls, which is in Denville. So depending on where you live, if you live in a township, some of those kids go to Morris Hills, or some of them may go to Morris Knolls. In the borough here, all the kids go to Morris Hills. My kids have gone through the school system and they've done really well. So that's definitely a benefit of living in this area here. Rockaway Borough is conveniently located to every major highway. We're about 35 miles west of New York City. It's easy to commute into the city. There's a bus in the center of town here, and they have quite a few buses. There's an express bus that'll go right into the city. Not too far away, in the township, Rockaway Mall, there's a bus there that'll take you to Lower Manhattan and also Midtown. If you wanted to take the train, you could go to Denville and catch the NJ Transit train there, which is, depending where you live in a borough, less than a 10-minute drive. Or you could go to Dover too. It just makes your commute a little bit longer, but that's another option too. Housing is very affordable in this area. Compared to the surrounding areas, you get a lot of house for your money here. Taxes are relatively low compared to the surrounding towns here. The one benefit of living up here is, besides all the things I just mentioned, you also benefit from having a small town feel, but you're not really too far away from the big metropolitan cities, like for instance Morristown. So as far as doing things that are entertaining, you may have to drive a little bit. That's one of the cons of living in a little town like this. We have little mom and pop restaurants and bars, but you could go to the mall, and there's a couple chain restaurants there. If that's your thing. You could go to Denville. Denville has a lot of nice restaurants and bars and entertaining, and of course Morristown is just a hub. You could go down South Street and just go, pub crawling if you wanted to, if that was your thing. The other con of potentially living up here in Rockaway Borough, during rush hour, could be a bit of traffic, because Route 80, the borough's right off of Route 80. It's a major thoroughfare. So during rush hour in the morning, you're going to hit some traffic depending on where you have to commute to, and also on the way home. So that's just a fact of life of living in this state, regardless of where you are, honestly. As far as getting around locally, the only options are right now, we don't have a light rail system up here. We do have buses that'll take you around town if that's if you chose to do so. But that's really it. You could take the train, like say if you wanted to go to Dover, and you could take the train to Morristown. You could definitely do that. You could also go to Hoboken and all the stops in between there. So that's one of the cons of living up here. We're limited as far as mass transportation goes. It's really, in this part of the state, you really need a car. It's just easier if you have a car to get around and drive. But the good thing is if you buy a house, more than likely you'll have a driveway, maybe even a garage. Even if you live in a townhouse, you'll be able to at least have parking for one car and maybe one in a garage. So that's the good thing here. It's not like if you're living in New York City and you got to worry about finding parking and finding new parking spaces depending on what day you have to move your car and things like that. The other potential con here, and you may like this actually. Sometimes we get rough weather in the winter. We're probably like 600 feet above sea level here. So in the winter, if you were to go a couple miles east, they may be getting rain, but we tend to get more. We tend to get more of the snow when it's kind of that borderline situation. We always tend to be a few degrees cooler than if you went, a couple miles east. So that could be a pro or con. The good thing is where we live here in the borough, the town is very good about maintaining the roads. Once the snow stops, are out there plowing, constantly salting, even when we get, kind of the iffy weather where it's, maybe freezing rain over there. We're really good about it. So that's fantastic because, I've heard stories where, there's some towns where they don't get around to plowing until maybe a day or two after the snow hit. So those are the pros and cons of living in this state. I've been a resident here for almost 23 years now, raised my family here, so we love it. My kids, like I said, have gone through the school system. They're doing very well and will continue to do well. So if you have any questions about this video, specific questions about the town, certain areas, my contact info will be on this YouTube channel. You can reach out to me through social media. You can also text, cell, whatever is easier for you. And stay tuned for my next video talking more about Rockaway Borough, New Jersey. Talk soon.